Coach News at 11.
Well, what did you see on your summer vacation? Maybe some beaches, some wildlife, or a world-class city? Anything paranormal or supernatural? A Camosun College student from Mill Bay captured video of something that he can't quite put his finger on, and neither can we. Watch this vacation home video closely and carefully. Did you see it?
And right in front of the tomb here, it's all clear, and there'll be a ghost coming up.
You heard correctly. He said ghost. In July, Mark Fowler went with a friend to Europe. It was his first ever trip out of BC, and like many tourists, he brought a video camera to Vatican City.
I started from the left, and then I worked my way into the center here where the tomb is, and this image appears, this orangey image appears right there. How it's hovering. My buddy kept walking the way there.
While in St. Peter's Basilica, the 19-year-old recorded a strange image that seems to be hovering well above the crowd.
Kind of see where the feet is a bit. Cloak maybe, I don't know. Kind of looks like his head's pointing off to the left area.
Fowler didn't see the image in person, only learning he'd captured the mysterious shape when he was back in BC.
To my buddy's sister, picked it up my camera, and she's like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I just saw that image, like, whoa. So it kind of blew me away, but no, I couldn't see it, and like with everybody else's faces in the camera, like nobody's looking in that direction or anything.
A second pass with the camera, and the image seems to be in a slightly different location inside the 500-year-old building.
So much history in Basilica, and it's where Jesus' second disciple, St. Peter, got crucified upside down, and he's buried right underneath that spot. I was shocked. I'm not much of a ghost believer or anything, but it's just kind of, I don't know, it was just, whoa, that's kind of weird.
But he says he just might be a believer now, along with others he's shown the tape to.
And when it's down here, it just simply clouds what it's directly in front of. And it moves around the whole area, moves behind things, which is impossible from that camera considering I have obstacles in the way. My computers were turning off at night, and it wasn't switching my breaker box. You know, nothing was tripping. My microwave was still reading the same time. At one point that it moves and seems like it jumps towards the camera and almost into the camera and then back out of the camera, and it leaves tracers and trails of energy behind it. I personally think it was a spirit. I personally, you know, my heart says that it was my mom, but that's what I'd like to believe. I would be completely fine with having the notion of having a spirit on hand.
But this mystifying footage pales in comparison to what has been captured here in Greencastle, Indiana. This weird tale begins with these two men, Guy Winters and Terry Lambert. For years, Guy and Terry have heard rumours about a haunted mansion on the outskirts of town.
People would see the ghost of a female, an apparition that would drip down the lane that led to this old house.
Intrigued, the men decide to investigate the deserted house with their own cameras. This is the actual videotape from that unforgettable night.
Storms going, lightning crashing.
Lightning like I've never seen. It was like dripping plastic out of the sky. Really strange.
In the clump of trees there was this big two-story old brick mansion, abandoned, kind of dilapidated looking.
Unaware of what awaits them, Guy and Terry go inside.
I think throwing shadows through the house, so it was pretty eerie. And basically, we took a series of pictures all through the house, upstairs, downstairs, stairwells.
Terry claims that he then ventured back outside to take more photos.
I took a series of 3 pictures of an upstairs window. And after I took that series of pictures, I went around to the back of the home, and I took a picture of a doorway.
Still in the house, Guy continues his investigation. But suddenly, he feels that he is no longer alone.
I felt this presence come over me and the smell was like sulfur and roses. Real strong smell.
You hear that? Heartbeat.
Pump, 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 pump. And this heartbeat was in my head, but it wasn't my own heartbeat. I really felt like I was dying. This feeling of anxiety was just overwhelming. And I was afraid I wasn't going to make it out of there.
Guy and Terry run from the house, afraid to stop until they reach the safety of their van. But this ghost story is far from over. When Terry develops the film from his still camera, he's shocked by what he sees. 3 consecutive pictures of what appears to be a woman glowing in a pink light, floating in the second-story window. Another pink shape is captured at the back door.
Pretty much, it blew me away, I have to say. I've never seen anything like that on film.
Could this be the ghost of Greencastle, or merely a photographic abnormality? To find out, Guy and Terry showed the pictures to their friend, photo expert Mick Orman.
What is in the picture came from the negatives. It's very interesting and a little unnerving.
Next, these mysterious images were analysed by a computer graphics expert, Sean Dempsey. It's during Sean's high-tech examination that the photograph reveals another startling secret.
And then I tried something called bas relief, which basically takes the light and dark parts of the picture and emphasizes them. And I got the creepiest thing from this one photo. Her face, and I don't know how else to describe it, but that to me just looks like a skull. I've got to be honest, it's either a real photo of a ghost or it was done with a photographic technique that I don't know about.
With experts at a loss for answers, Guy and Terry have their own theory. They now believe they photographed a real ghost. But if it's true, then whose spirit is it? Guy believes that the Pink Lady is a woman who lived and died here in the early 20th century. Her name, Irene O'Hare, the same name that they found scratched onto one of the bedroom walls. Guy and Terry make more trips to the mansion, but the ghost of Greencastle does not reappear. However, the men capture 2 other images that are just as difficult to explain. The first is this photograph of what appears to be a woman in a flowing gown. Due to her intense colour, she is known as the Gold Ghost. The second strange event occurs while Guy takes pictures of the mansion. Suddenly, 3 cloud-like shapes fly by. Is this merely fog or some type of mist? If so, it would need a strong breeze to travel this fast. But Guy's clothes and hair never move, indicating that no wind is blowing. Unfortunately, these and other questions may never be answered, because the mansion was destroyed to make way for this cornfield. But the memories of the Greencastle mansion live on with Guy and Terry, who may have done the unthinkable. Captured images of visitors from the other side.
This is a camera that's motion detector.
Director of Public Relations Charlie Glazner says Asheville High's video surveillance system is just like that in any other high school. But what was captured by a camera in the rotunda of Asheville High in the wee hours of the morning was anything but ordinary.
That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I mean, because look, it looks like a person.
Yeah.
It really does.
A child, right? No.
Teacher and literacy coach Martha Geithner knows what she sees in the surveillance video, captured at 2:51 a.m. Friday, August 1st. What do you think? Watch to the left of your screen.
This is what you first see over here. Some folks have described it as, you know, the shape of a child or something like that. Someone else who looked at it said it looks like it takes a couple of steps.
The motion-activated recorder goes off for 24 seconds, indicating no movement. And then you see the shape again, above the elevator. It travels to the hallway, and here's where things get perplexing for skeptics.
But look at the shadow on the floor coming from those lights.
Glazner won't say it's a ghost, but he won't say it's not.
I'm a logical person, I think, and I wanted to be able to explain to these folks or anybody, this is what I think it is. It's a bat flying around up here and it casts a shadow. But then why is the shadow down here from a different angle and it's not the shape of a bat? So
it's going to be on sourdough, okay?
Folks at the Birdhouse Cafe across the street are excited by whatever it is.
I'm just not one of those. I don't go looking for things like that, but when I saw that, it made me wonder. It does take on the silhouette of a body.
Everyone agrees at this point the shape in the shadows so far can't be explained.
I think it's a ghost.
And Mrs. Geithner has her own theory about why whatever it is there.
It's a ghost. Of course it's a ghost. It's the ghost of some former student who's really angry with his teacher and has come back to get back at the teacher. And he's just making himself known at this time.
Kim Peterson was curious too when she reviewed security tapes a couple weeks ago and saw that motion sensors kicked cameras into action and there wasn't any action in the gym.
So I just called my security company and said, is there a light bulb going out? Do I need to get up and clean the lens? And they reviewed it and said, I have no idea what that is.
Security cameras caught a white orb wandering around the gym. The orb hovers and lingers near the dumbbells. It leaves the frame, then comes back and kicked the motion sensors into action a total of 9 times between 2 and 4:30 in the morning.
I'm sure there's a logical explanation.
But not one Provision Security has been able to come up with in the last 2 weeks. Reps told us the system is activated by motion, but not just any motion. They say a bug wouldn't turn this model on, or dust. It would take much more than headlights passing by. 600 other clients have the same system, but none of them have ever recorded a mystery.
My 8-year-old said, maybe Grandpa's just making sure you're doing okay in your new business, Mom.
Could be a spirit. Nothing's impossible.
Do ghosts only exist in the imagination? There's no doubt that evidence is easy to fake, but one incident at a riding school in Kent challenges even the staunchest skeptic. On a Saturday morning, Janet Emmett and her daughter are taking their regular riding lesson. The lesson is being filmed by Janet's husband, Martin. Later that night, she decides to watch it.
I was watching the video quite carefully, and at first I was watching myself, obviously, thinking how appalling I looked. Then I saw something quite strange.
Standing in the background is the figure of a man.
I knew that they're watching the video quite carefully, and at first I was watching myself, obviously, thinking how appalling I looked. Then I saw something quite strange.
Standing in the background is the figure of a man.
I knew that there couldn't have been anybody there. I was riding in the sun menage, literally a couple of metres away from where the figure appeared to be standing, and I knew there had been nobody there at the time.
Could this be a trick of light? On closer examination, the figure can be seen again. This time, it appears to have its